I'm not sure what's going on here. What the? Oh Lord. I'm. What I'm trying to do. Oh, I don't know. I can't even talk properly now. I'm trying to work out the ClipChamp editing. Again, I did a bit of it the other day, but it didn't. Nothing went where I wanted it to go, and I just got ClipChamp.com is sharing your screen. I'm not sure what's going on here. What the? Oh Lord. I'm. What I'm trying to do. Oh, I don't know. I can't even talk properly now. I'm trying to work out the ClipChamp editing. Again, I did a bit of it the other day, but it didn't. Nothing went where I wanted it to go, and I just got no idea what this is on the screen now. It says stop sharing. Well, what does it mean? Stop sharing it with who? It looks like they've shared it with the whole bloody world here. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm looking at a tunnel of Word myself. thousands of screens. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is, I've got a little video I made of a motorbike ride on my Himalayan, and I've made a little story to overlay on it. And so I'm going to, and this is me just telling. Did you know about the Reverend Edward Drax Free? He was a priest, an academic, and an extortioner. There's a document in Lambeth Palace that lists the various complaints made against Dr. Free during his ministry as the rector of Sutton in Bedfordshire. These complaints include fornication, drunkenness, lewdness, and assault. Oh, and he's further accused of rearing pigs in the churchyard. His ministry ended with a firefight at the rectory, followed by a 10-day siege. Dr. Free arrived in Sutton in 1898, much to the relief of the Fellows of St. John's College, Oxford, where, as Dean of the Arts, he had made himself unpopular by various acts of rudeness, including violence towards the bursar. He soon turned Sutton's All Saints Church, where he just moved to, into a place of exceptional squalor. According to one parishioner, Mr. William Hale, it was common to see cattle running loose and pigs rooting up the graves. Cows mingled with the mourners at my father's funeral. He kept sheep in the church porch, which was often strewn with straw and dung. Dr. Free believed that the ministry existed to provide him with revenue. He sold lead stripped from the church roof. He cut down trees and sold them as wood. He collected tithes due to him with startling inhumanity. When Mrs. Phoebe Smith, a penniless widow, tried to bury her child, Free demanded 4 shillings before the service could be carried out. Mrs. Smith didn't have the money, so Free relented for the time being. But after the burial, he followed her home and refused to go until he had been paid. Though he wasn't particularly good-looking man in appearance, he did enjoy some success with women. Of 6 housekeepers he employed, 4 became his mistress, between them producing 5 children, most of whom sadly died young. However, it was not his debauchery, his assaults on church wardens with a horsewhip, or his unhygienic farming techniques that caused his downfall. No. It was his decision to pursue a vendetta against the parish's most distinguished resident, Sir Montague Burgoyne. Why Dr. Free picked a quarrel with Sutton's principal landowner remains unclear. In March of 1817 he brought a prosecution against Sir Montague at the Bedfordshire Lent Assizes, citing an Elizabethan statute that made non-attendance in church a crime. This was a law that had been introduced to force Catholics to attend Church of England services and seen at this time to be more or less irrelevant. Those found guilty in Elizabeth's day had been fined £20 for each month in which they had been absent from church. Accordingly, Dr. Free demanded that Sir Montague pay him the sum of £380. He actually produced one witness who testified that she had never seen Sir Montague in church. However, this evidence was weakened when it turned out that it had been provided by one of Free's mistresses. Sir Montague insisted, in any case, that it had not been possible to attend Dr. Free's services, since there had not been any services to attend. Alternatively, when there had been a service, Free's sermon had been a tirade of abuse directed against himself. Excuse me. So Montague was duly found not guilty. He died shortly after the trial, but the struggle was taken up by his uncle, also Sir Montague. He was a more formidable opponent than his nephew had been, even advertising in London newspapers to track down women whom Free had debauched. But each time he managed to bring the rector to court on charges of immorality and lewdness. Free successfully argued that the court had no jurisdiction in this particular case. A trial finally took place in June 1829 in the Court of Arches, and Free was sentenced to be deprived from the living of Sutton and to pay all costs. Free decided not to recognise the verdict. He barricaded himself inside the rectory with his housekeeper and a shotgun. When the Archdeacon of Bedford volunteered to act as a negotiator, Free took a shot at him. It was then decided that the safest course would be to starve the rector out. After a 10-day siege, Free emerged. He took refuge in a neighbouring village, and then, since no one would take him there, he walked all the way to London. Thereafter, his circumstances became increasingly wretched. He petitioned to be reinstated as a fellow of his old Oxford College, St. John's, but was unsuccessful. In January 1839, the Times reported him as saying, "I have no bed to lie on and have been 3 days without food." On 16th of February 1843, he was walking in London when a wheel flew off the carriage of Mr. Edward Rolls of Rolls & Co., varnish manufacturers. Mr. Rolls survived, but Dr. Free was run down by the wheel. He was taken to hospital and died of his injuries at 2 o'clock the following morning. I think I'm recording. Here goes that giant screen to infinity and beyond. I suppose that's me on the World Wide Web forever. Anyway, this is me recording another bit, and I've added to the last video that I made that didn't come out right because of the sound of the motorbike, and the story didn't kind of gel. So anyway, let's see what happens now. Thank you for joining me. I think I might have said that already, but maybe it didn't come out. But I'm doing my best. But I got a feeling I might as well just stick to the ordinary, plain and simple Microsoft editing that I've done for years, for the last 15 years. But I think they're going to make it more and more difficult to get onto that because they want me to do this ClipChamp. Anyway, I've changed my hat as well. The other one was getting a bit too heavy. I've been here such a long time. Look after yourself. Thanks for being here. See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye.